Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for giving this video a click. My name's Tyler. Watching a game today between the Viper and Zuppi. Viper here is playing as Teutons. He's in red. Zuppi in blue is going to play as Britons. This is a set of 4 that these guys played against each other, or 5, I believe, where they alternated civs throughout. So the next game will be the opposite civs. So the Viper as Britons and Zuppi as Teutons. This game is interesting because these guys are sort of playing in a bit of a competitive style. A lot of times you won't see certain dirty tricks. You will see dirty tricks between these two, so I thought it was worth watching this game. Before we get there, let's look at the maps. Viper having his main gold off to the side, very close to his TC. His berries are also in a pretty safe place. His stone is here on the front. Secondary gold is way in the front. The problem the Viper has is not too many trees near his town center, but it is Arabia. Meanwhile, while we were looking at that, we can see that the Viper has gone across the map to steal Zuppi's boar. Like I said, a couple dirty tricks here. You can see him zigging and zagging with his scout in order to keep that boar interested, but not letting it hit him. While he steals that boar, which he will steal properly, let's look at Zuppi's map. We can see he has his main gold on the back, his berries to the side. His main stone here is not in a terrible location if he maybe walls this area off. So all in all, not a bad map at all for Zuppi. It seems like he has a lot of opportunity to wall, and he'd get a lot of his resources within that wall. 3 gold piles, 2 stone piles, and his wood line and his berries. So we'll see what Zuppi decides to do, but it seems like he has a decent map. Maybe a little bit better than the Vipers. Yeah, so we can see that now we have Zuppi over trying to steal Viper's boar. A little tit for tat. The problem is now that Viper's scout is here, and that's going to be a disruption. We can see him getting some hits in on Zuppi's scout, along with the boar getting a few hits in there, and that's really going to take his scout down low. And that boar has finally just now lost interest just before this villager could get over to take a shot at it. So it looks like Zuppi will fail the boar steal. He'll have his scout all the way down to 5 health, while Viper's is on 17. And that boar is going to walk his way all the way back to the Viper. But it doesn't look like the Viper is just going to wait for that boar to come. He's going to send 5 villagers forward to put some pressure on to Zuppi. Is Zuppi going to come back to steal again? No, we're not going to see that. Not enough HP on that scout. So the Viper doing some more scouting. If we look around, we can see that he's identifying his opponent's resources so that these forward villagers can put some pressure on them. You can see right here, he's found this little gold pile. He's going to put a barracks up beside it, hit feudal age, and we should see a tower any moment. His tower is going to come down on this side of Zuppi to take away his berries and put some pressure on this wood. And maybe eventually to that gold. The problem is that Zuppi has gone full ham on Viper here. He's going to send basically his entire village and a couple of militia. And it looks like they're going to get a few of Viper's villagers here. 4 of Viper's villagers. The 5th villager has walled herself in. She's going to put that watchtower up. But it doesn't look like it's going to be for any good purpose because it's totally surrounded. That villager still repairing that watchtower. I guess keeping his opponent's villagers distracted for the moment. But this looks like a losing battle for Viper. He might get a villager out of the edge here. Yep, there's one. Still putting some pressure on with those spears. He does have another villager here in play. She is on 1 HP, but she's going in. Why not? And she's actually going to get a kill. So the 1 HP villager gets a kill, and then she dies. Isn't that always how it seems to go, people? And we can see that Zuppi here is just fully committed to taking this tower down. And it seems like it worked out in his favor. He got most of those villagers. Just this one is now escaped. He took out all of Viper's forward pressure, and he's got a 200-point lead on Viper now. So Zuppi otherwise is going to start building some offense of his own. Looks like he's going to go with an archery range there. He's going to put an outpost up as a defensive measure. This Viper's snuck villager in the back could be very interesting if he can keep it hidden for a little while. Viper doing some spearman pressure, but not able to get any villagers out of it. We can see Zuppi is now on one archery range, and he's put a couple of archers in there, one would assume. Yep, he's building archers out of there. Viper on the other side, he's going scouts out of one, looks like one, yep, one stable scouts. So those will come in eventually. Viper was over here trying to do another dirty trick, which is wall in all this stone. He only got a couple of his palisades up before losing that villager. So it's full lamer mode for both of these guys. Boar steel, walling up of resources. Yeah, they're playing hard. And that's great. Good to see it. Good to see that every once in a while. Viper coming in here with 5 scouts, but he's going to find that his opponent is walled up. Actually, it's going to be close if he can get... No, he's not going to get over here. So it looks like Zuppi will defend those scouts. Viper spending quite a bit of food here and not really getting anything out of it. He's not going to get any pressure here. This looks like 100% walled up. And meanwhile, Zuppi is just here building up a little army of his own. He's decided to go with archers. Not surprising, seeing that he's Britons. Viper's scouts are not on bloodlines yet, but I think he will grab that soon. Yep, he's grabbing that now. So he's going to have 6 scouts on bloodlines, and it looks like they're going to be hanging around in his base for defensive purposes. Meanwhile, blacksmith going up for Zuppi. Viper has already got his blacksmith. We can see he hasn't done anything to those scouts other than bloodlines, so we might be seeing something else out of him soon. Viper taking wood from this far corner, hoping maybe not to get detected there. His base is really wood poor, so he's going to have a problem with that. Safe gold, but not safe wood. He's on 7-8 scouts now, and it looks like Zuppi's going to come over with some archers, and we'll see what goes down here. These bloodline scouts have no fear of a spearman or two, so they'll just come in and take those out. They're also going to put a lot of pressure on these archers. Looks like Viper will get the bulk of those, though these scouts are getting on low HP. Looks like all but 3 of those archers will go down. All but 4 of those. 3 archers. Okay, 2 archers left for Zuppi, but Viper sort of kind of throwing away those scouts. If he had sent them all together toward the archers, it might have done a little better, but he's the Viper. He's a lot better than me. He's coming forward to do some scouting, I think, with 1 skirmisher, or maybe he's going to take on this whole army with that thing. Getting a little bit more view of the map. If we look at what Viper can see, we can see that he's identified that his opponent is totally walled in, but he's keeping tabs, I think, on the ranges, and there's actually a hole here at the moment that he could sneak through, but I think Zuppi will probably cover that up soon, just being annoying with that 1 skirmisher. Meanwhile, Viper seeing Zuppi coming in with archers and a couple spearmen and running over to this tree line, which Zuppi doesn't know about and is not going to find out about just yet. So for now, the Viper is safe. He's taking wood over here, which seems risky, but in the end, if your opponent can't find you, it doesn't matter. We can see Viper is now up to castle first. He's going to put knights out on the field. If we look at the upgrades on those, he's got +2/+1, coming forward with a villager and heading back with a villager. Looked like maybe a siege workshop there. He's now on 6 knights, and he's going to put a lot of pressure on Zuppi, who is up to castle age and has gotten crossbows. Those crossbows are +2/+1, so they're decent, they're formidable. They're not going to be easy to take down, but for the most part, they are. There's enough archers there to take on these knights, so we'll see what goes down. And we'll just watch those guys chase each other across the map for a while. Viper out here with a mangonel, getting 2 archers. The goal is always to get 5, in my opinion. You get 5 archers with a mangonel, then you've paid for the mangonel. We can see Viper here getting quite a few of those archers as they try to run away. Zuppi is now up to pikemen, which makes sense if he's encountering so many knights from the Teutons player. And those will pretty much clear up Viper's knights here. So Viper down to 4 knights. Not really enough to do any raiding here. And it looks like he's going to try to protect this mangonel, getting 2 more archers. He's gotten his 5. So that mangonel is bought and paid for. Viper coming forward with more knights, and we're going to see some warfare here. Viper getting 2 spearmen, but losing his mangonel. Overall, that mangonel paid for itself, so it's okay. If we look at Zuppi, he's now up on 3 TCs. Viper is going to be on 2 TCs. Still these villagers just precariously hanging out in the back, but so far so good for them. A couple scorpions on the field here for Viper. Why not build some scorpions? Why not, I ask you? I have actually never done it, but why not? So trash, rather siege and knights for Viper, and Zuppi with basically straight archers. Again, makes sense as a Britons player, with a couple of pikemen mixed in to scare those knights away. Looks like Viper could get a mangonel shot in here if he's lucky. Losing both of his scorpions, getting a couple of archers. Not a very good trade for him there. Losing that mangonel as well. So Viper losing all of his knights, his mangonel, his scorpion, and really not getting much in return. So not a great exchange for him, but he is putting a little pressure on the front here on these houses with these 5 knights. It does look like there's a couple of villagers there. They should be able to block that off pretty easily. Famous last words. Meanwhile, if we look back, we can see that this pack of archers from Zuppi is starting to move in around. This gold looks very vulnerable. I wonder if he'll be able to get in there. It looks like he's headed for it as we speak. Second small group here, going to annoy on this side. Maybe a little distraction. Getting 3, 4, 5, 6 villagers there. Okay, 6 villagers down for Zuppi, and that's going to be really useful for him. Viper just now on 3 TCs, so Zuppi and Viper both on 3 TCs, but Zuppi getting much more pressure on Viper's villagers. Now we can see Viper on 85 population, Zuppi is on 120 population, and he's streaming out those archers and pikemen as fast as he can. And he's taken over Viper's gold for the moment, which is a problem for the Viper because his only other gold piles are here on the front and way off here to the side. So it looks like Viper in trouble for gold, and he might have to begin building trash here. Yep, he's on 15 gold. So he's going to have to start building some trash, and he's lost a few more villagers. Looking pretty dire right now for the Viper. The score doesn't really reflect it, it's only 300 points, but he's lost a lot of villagers. Meanwhile, on the front, he is trying to get some pressure on here, but he's taking on Zuppi's army and not getting raiding in because of all of this walling. This is the only opening in Zuppi's base at the moment. Viper coming forward here to build a town center on this gold makes sense since he is so starved for gold at the moment. He does get a TC up on this side to protect that gold, so he's now on 5 TCs. And he does have 2 safe gold piles as far as town centers are concerned. Zuppi, on the other hand, only on 3 TCs, but having a much higher population and much more pressure. So the goal of Zuppi now is to keep those villagers of Viper down. You know, the Viper's still only on 92 total population. Zuppi on 137. If Zuppi can keep picking these villagers off one by one, then it won't matter that the Viper has 5 TCs. He'll never catch up. Zuppi here with a second little army, taking out Viper's monk. Looks like he's going to get a couple of villagers here. 1, 2, 3. Give me 5. 5, 6 villagers down there for Zuppi. So Zuppi with really great pressure on the front here. Doing a really good job, and it looks like he's going to take the Viper out. Viper was able to take out all of those crossbows here, but not for free. You know, lost a few knights of his own. And he still hasn't cleared up this pressure from Zuppi, who's just now taken another villager down. So it looks like Zuppi is in very good shape. He's also clicked up to Imperial Age. Viper still at Castle, not very close to having the resources to go up. Viper losing a mangonel there, but doing a pretty good amount of damage to Zuppi's army. Zuppi coming forward with a castle. It's going to take away this gold and put pressure on the front of Viper's base. So Zuppi here really playing a very solid game, just having more units. Not the most expensive units in the game, but having many, many more of them. And he's now on, Viper's on 101 population, Zuppi's on 147. Zuppi's getting close to Imperial. He's got rams. He's going to start taking Viper's gold here on the front. He's going to build more rams. And he's going to really start putting the pressure on his opponent. I don't think Zuppi knows about this. Nope, he doesn't even know that part of the map exists. So he needs to find that out, because Viper's got a huge pocket of economy here that is not being pressured at the moment. Meanwhile, Zuppi's in the back here with some pikemen and some crossbows. He has just hit Imperial, so I guess we'll see if he goes for Art of Blessed, or if he goes for... he's going to go for Longbowman, which is... Oh, and Art of Blessed, okay. So he's going to have both of his archer units upgraded, and he's going to keep putting pressure on the front of Viper's base. And it looks like he's really done a good job here. 2 rams full of pikemen here in case they go down to knights. They'll be able to take them out. And there's the Viper with the resignation. So the first game out of this set of 4 goes to the Viper. He basically got overrun by the Britons player here, by Zuppi, just building lots of pikemen and crossbows and really putting the pressure on Viper and making it so those knights had a really hard time getting a footing. So thanks for tuning in. Check out Game 2 if you feel like it, and I'll see you there.